Hey, everybody, and welcome to Fun Theory. Today, we're going to be hanging out with the king of creepy cool, Guillermo del Toro.
We're going deep into this one.
Yeah, we're diving deep into his love of monsters. I mean,
It's more than love at this point. It's full-on obsession.
yeah, an obsession. It's not just like a passing interest, right? This is like a whole...
It is. You know, he curated that Guillermo del Toro at Home with Monsters exhibition at LACMA a few years back.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And it had over 500 pieces from his personal collection.
500.
500.
That's nuts. I mean, that's not a collection. That's like a whole museum.
It's practically its own monster convention at this point.
Yeah.
But what's really interesting, I think, is that he displayed this collection alongside classic pieces of art from LACMA's own collection.
Oh, wow.
So you have, paintings and statues that you would expect to see in a museum.
Right.
But then right next to them, you have these, horror movie props and books and even, vinyl toys.
I love that. So it's almost like he's saying, art is art, right? Like, you don't have to have these boundaries. Like, a vinyl toy can be just as...
And I think that really reflects Del Toro's whole approach to art, He really believes that artistic value isn't just about how much money something is worth.
I dig it.
It's about the personal connection you have to it. And clearly, he has a deep personal connection to all these creatures and objects.
Okay, so 500 pieces. Where does he even keep this stuff? Does he have, a giant spooky warehouse somewhere?
He has two houses. He calls them Bleak Houses.
Oh, my God.
And he specifically designed these houses to be like research libraries.
Okay, wait. Bleak Houses. That's a little on brand for him, don't you think? I mean,
come on. The guy directed Cannes Labyrinth.
Exactly. So research libraries, though. So he's not just collecting these things and hoarding them. Yep. He's actually using them.
Oh, no. He's very serious about his research. Each of these Bleak Houses is organized into 13 themed libraries. Each one has its own reading room. They're dedicated to different genres like horror and fairy tales and crime novels, all sorts of things.
Man, I need to be invited to a weekend, sleepover party at the Bleak House.
I know, right? But it really shows how dedicated he is to research and how that research feeds into his films and gives them that real depth and detail.
Okay. And I have to ask you about this because I read about this. Apparently, he has a rain room in one of these houses.
He does.
What is a rain room?
So it's kind of exactly what it sounds like. It's like a room with frosted windows, and he has rain projections on the glass and surround sound effects to make it sound like a thunderstorm.
Oh, my God.
And he actually uses this rain room as a writing space.
I am so jealous right now. I'm sitting here in the sunshine like an idiot.
It's pretty amazing. And it goes back to his childhood. Apparently, he was really fascinated by the rain effects in Disneyland's Tiki Room.
That's so random. But I kind of get it.
Right. Who wouldn't want their own personal thunderstorm? I know I do.
Yeah, I mean, sign me up. Okay, so that's the setting.
Yeah.
Let's get to the monsters themselves.
Right. And I think you can really see how much Del Toro is inspired by these monsters just in the way that he designs them for his films.
Yeah. We were talking about a couple of them, from that CBR article. I think we were talking about the Pale Man.
Oh, yeah.
That thing's terrifying.
The Pale Man? Oof. Nightmare fuel.
But also, I don't know, there's something mesmerizing about it, too.
Yeah, well, and I think that's intentional. Del Toro doesn't just want to scare us with his monsters.
I feel like he wants us to think about them, too, right?
Exactly. He wants us to think about them. He has this whole idea about humanizing monsters.
Yeah.
And he really uses them as mirrors to reflect kind of the darker parts of society back at us.
Ooh, I like that.
So, with the Pale Man, for example, those creepy eyes in his hands, he represents, institutional evil preying on the helpless.
Whoa. Okay, so we're getting deep here.
Yeah, it's not just about, cool creature designs.
Right.
It's about making a statement using these monsters to say something about the world.
I love that. Okay, so we've got the Pale Man representing, societal evil.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the Fawn from Pan's Labyrinth.
Oh, the Fawn, yeah.
Who's definitely unsettling.
Yeah.
But is he actually evil?
Right, that's the thing. He's this ambiguous figure. You're not quite sure if he's good or bad. And that really forces us to question our own assumptions about, good versus evil.
And I feel like that's a recurring theme in Del Toro's work, right?
Absolutely. It's all about blurring those lines. And, sometimes it's not even the fantasy creatures that are the real monsters in his films.
Oh, yeah.
It's the humans.
Oh, totally.
Like the fascist captain in Pan's Labyrinth is way more terrifying than anything with, like, fangs and claws.
Oh, for sure. Okay, so we've got the pale man representing like evil institutions, the fawn who is kind of like this in between good and evil. Like, what about a monster that really like exemplifies this humanizing thing?
Well, I mean, you got to look at the amphibian man from The Shape of Water.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, here's a creature literally pulled from the depths.
Right.
But he's got this incredible capacity for love and compassion and even like artistry. You remember that scene, like when he dances with Elisa underwater?
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh.
Chills. I get chills just thinking about it. It's so beautiful.
It's so beautiful, and it's so powerful because he's taking something that, we might normally find like repulsive or scary.
Right.
And he's making us see the beauty in it.
And you're rooting for the fish man.
Exactly. And he's really, he's making us question, like, what does it even mean to be human or monstrous?
Right. Going back to the collection for a second, I'm curious, like, did all of the monsters on display in LACMA, do they all, like, have this deeper meaning?
I mean, some of them, probably. Del Toro's, he's a huge fan of horror, so there's got to be some pieces in there that he just loves because they look cool, right?
Oh, yeah.
But even those pieces, they probably still have some sort of personal significance to him that speaks to his artistic vision,
Right.
And remember, he's not just collecting these things. He's studying them.
Right. He's like a monster scholar.
Exactly.
He is.
That makes me wonder, has he ever talked about, like, if any of these specific pieces, like, sparked an idea for a film for a character?
I don't recall any specific examples.
Yeah.
But I mean, knowing how much his life and his art are intertwined, I wouldn't be surprised at all.
It would make sense.
Yeah, it would make sense. And I mean, his Bleak Houses are basically giant mood boards for his movies.
Right? Oh my God. That's so cool. Like, imagine just walking through these houses and being surrounded by, like, all this creepy inspiration.
Right. I would never leave.
I'd be like, okay, I'm moving in.
Yeah. Sign me up. Okay, so we've talked about the Bleak Houses, the collection. We've got to talk about the practical effects.
Oh, yeah.
Because Del Toro's like known for using a lot of practical effects in his movies, right?
He is. He's a huge advocate for practical effects. Even in this day and age when CGI is so prevalent.
Yeah.
He really believes that practical effects bring this tangibility to the creatures, a weight.
Right.
That makes them just more believable and ultimately, I think, more terrifying.
But I bet even he has to use some CGI, like with some of these, especially some of the more complex creatures.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's about finding a good balance.
Right.
He'll use CGI strategically, to enhance the practical effects, to create these really mind-blowing visuals.
Right.
But it always starts with the really amazing physical creations. And I think that's one of the things that really sets him apart from other directors in the genre.
And I'm sure it's great for the actors, too.
Yeah.
Because it's much easier to act, I imagine, when you're interacting with something that's actually there, that you can actually touch and see.
Oh, absolutely. It creates a much more immersive experience for everyone on set.
Right.
And that translates to, I think, a more believable performance on the screen.
Okay, I need to pick your brain a little bit more about these Bleak Houses.
Okay.
13 themed libraries.
I know.
Did each one, like, have a monster vibe? Was there, like, a vampire library with, like, coffin-shaped bookshelves and blood red wallpaper?
I wish I knew. I mean, the sources that we have don't really go into that much detail about the specifics of each library.
Yeah.
But I can imagine.
Yeah.
I mean, we know that they are dedicated to these specific genres and themes that inform his work.
Right.
So I mean, a vampire library would not be out of the question.
My inner goth is very happy right now.
I bet.
Okay, one more thing about these houses.
Mm-hmm.
You said they're not just for storage, they're for living. Del Toro, like, hangs out in these creepy libraries.
Yeah. I mean, from what I've read, he actually spends, like, a significant amount of time in these houses, working, reading, just kind of surrounding himself with the things that he loves.
That's so cool. So he really is building a haunted mansion, just like one book at a time.
He kind of is. It's like a living, breathing museum of the macabre, constantly evolving and inspiring his work. It's really It's really amazing.
It really is. I mean, you're basically like stepping into his brain when you go to these houses. But okay, so we've geeked out about the collection, about the Bleak Houses, his love of practical effects.
Right.
What's the takeaway for us? You know, the people listening to Fun Theory.
Yeah.
Why should we care about Del Toro's monster obsession?
I think, Del Toro is inviting us to kind of embrace the monstrous, the things that scare us or make us uncomfortable. He's showing us that those things can also be like sources of beauty, you know, and wonder and even inspiration.
I like that. It's like, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Or like, don't judge a monster by its fangs. You know, there's more of these creatures than meets the eye.
Right. And I think it's about challenging our assumptions, broadening our perspectives, finding the humanity in unexpected places. You know, even Hellboy, who's a literal demon, he chooses to fight for good.
Yeah.
He subverts our expectations of what a monster should be.
And he loves kittens.
He does. He's got a soft spot for kittens.
Okay, so we're embracing the monstrous. But how do we actually do that?
Yeah.
You know? Like, we can't all go out and collect creepy dolls and build rain rooms, right?
I mean, maybe you can. I don't know. Your life.
I wish. I wish. But I mean, how do we take that idea and kind of apply it to our lives?
I think it starts with just being open-minded and curious. Don't shy away from things that make you uncomfortable, whether it's like a challenging book or a controversial art exhibit, or even like just a conversation with someone who has different views than you.
Right.
You know, Del Toro's, his work really encourages us to look deeper, to question our assumptions and to find the beauty in the unexpected.
So it's almost like stepping outside of your comfort zone and just exploring new things, new ideas.
Yeah.
Maybe you'll find some inspiration there, you know?
Absolutely. And don't forget to have fun with it too, you know? I mean, Del Toro clearly has a blast playing in this world of monsters and the macabre.
Totally.
So embrace your inner weirdo, explore your own fascinations, and who knows, maybe you'll discover your own bleak house of inspiration.
Oh, I love that. Well, guys, there you have it. We journeyed into the wonderfully weird mind of Guillermo del Toro. We explored his love of monsters, and hopefully we learned a little bit about embracing the beauty in the unexpected.
Yeah, keep challenging those assumptions.
Yeah.
Stay curious, and don't be afraid to find a little monster inspiration in your own life.
That's right. And until next time, Fun Theory fans, stay spooky.